All right, welcome back. It is Friday, June 24th, 2022, and tonight the Yankees trying to extend their home winning streak to 16. And I want to give you an idea of something to look out here for. We'll go back and look at the significance of the Yankees winning their 15th straight game against the Texas team, the Houston Astros, when their winning streak began May 24th, the night of the Texas school shooting. And, of course, last night, the Yankees had a big comeback in the ninth inning, and it was one on the bat of Aaron Judge. And we've talked about Aaron Judge and rituals with the Supreme Court over the years. And here comes the latest. On the day the Supreme Court rules in favor of gun rights with regards to concealed carry in the state of New York, on the day the Supreme Court rules on that, Aaron Judge, in a big comeback, knocks in the winning run. And notice the ritual. Same thing we talked about many years ago. Aaron Judge, his name has the same numerical values as Supreme Court. The difference is running the alphabetic order in reverse and running it in reverse numerology. Aaron Judge equals 174 and 57. Running the alphabetic order forwards and forwards with numerology, Supreme Court equals 174 and 57. Aaron Judge and the Supreme Court have this ritual on June 23rd, the 174th day of the year. And as we're always saying, the Jesuits control the rigging of sports and government together as they do season after season. And notice June 23rd leaves 191 days left in the year. New York Yankees, Society of Jesus, both 191 forwards and 187 in reverse. And as for the Yankees getting their 15th straight home win, gun in Texas equal 15. And again, last week we saw two streaks come to an end at 14, where end equals 14, and so many streaks end in sports in 14. But as we know, they don't all end, and usually when they don't, there's a clear ritual as to why. Well, this would have been a hard riddle to see, weeks in advance, and even the day of. But again, this is just a reminder, the news and the sports are scripted. We have a great idea of how they're scripted, and that's why so often we're ahead of the curve, but sometimes they have a little bit of a curve ball in their rigging, and instead of getting the typical streak ending at 14 games here, it goes to 15 on the day of the New York ruling. 15 games on the bat of Aaron Judge on the same day. The Supreme Court expands gun rights by ruling against the restrictive concealed carry law, where you must have a license as well in New York. They said it's not necessary to have a license. If you have the concealed carry, that's enough. So on the same day, right? And then again against the Texas team, where the two big mass shootings, they're at the center of all the recent legal changes. They're the one in Buffalo, New York, and the one in Uvalde, Texas. Texas, New York playing each other last night. And to go back and look at when the streak started, it was right here. The first win in this now 15-game streak was May 24th. Notice that score was the same score, 7-6, just like last night, 7-6. If you recall, it was Trevino for the Yankees who won the game that night, knocked in the winning run, and Trevino is from nearby Uvalde, Texas. He had the winning run the night the streak began. So, in light of it being at 15 games and Gunn equaling 15, tonight's a curious game. Does it end right there as the tribute to Gunn, or is this tribute going further? Remember, in Uvalde, there were 19 children killed while 19 cops stood down, and today, Aaron Judge is in the news. The Yankees paid him $19 million to avoid an arbitration hearing where he would have been in a court in front of a judge. But $19 million is the clue today. And today's the 190th day of the year, the 19th triangular number. Now, the Yankees streak could end tonight if it's about 15. But if it's going further, I can make a good argument for it to go through Sunday, 18 straight. Or maybe they're telling us it's going to 19, which would be game one against Oakland on Monday. But check this out. If they win 18 straight, they'll sweep Houston this weekend, and they'll end up with 18 straight home wins on Sunday. Now notice, the Jesuit acronym, their logo's the sun with the letters IHS. IHS has gematria of 18 forwards and backwards. And notice the word sun has gematria of 18 as well when you run the alphabetic order in reverse numerology. They say the sun makes oil and gas. Oil's 18, gas is 18. We just learned, or it came to our attention, that the federal tax is 18 cents per gallon of gas, which got lifted to drop prices a little bit. 18 cents. Go figure, in the Jesuit-controlled nation where they say you're an adult at age 18. And again, the Jesuits got this knowledge from Jewish mysticism, where in Jewish mysticism, the number 18 represents the meaning of life, which is why at age 18 you get a whole bunch of new privileges. So anyway, with regards to 18, baseball is also 18. There's 18 half innings in a game. And this Sunday, the Yankees could potentially get their 18th straight Sunday, right? Sun, 18, IHS, the Jesuits, the Yankees. But Sunday is 26/6, and Jesus Hominum Salvator, what IHS stands for, equals 266. When you run the alphabetical order in reverse, like Pope Francis is the 266th Pope, the first Jesuit Pope. So that is all very interesting, and that's the one trick. You know, if you feel like that makes a lot of sense for them to go to 18 games on Sunday, I mean, you know, maybe you're coming out with your guns blazing tonight, but if you see the narrative like, yeah, it could end at 15, got to be careful of that. If they win tonight and get to 16 straight, then they only got to win on Saturday and Sunday to get to 18 straight, and to me, that ritual would look very likely. So that's why, by having this knowledge in your pocket, you know, the carefulest guy out there, he might wait to make sure that they win on tonight and Saturday so that he can see that they can pick up that 18th win on 266, and that might be where he goes in. But everybody uses this knowledge a little bit different. Some people are a lot better with it than others. Some people came out, you know, had one bad weekend and quit forever. There's other people who've been using it for, you know, 8-9 years I've been teaching it and winning more and more each year. So you have to figure out which person you are. You know, you can give any man a tool, but some man's going to be better with that tool than the other man. And but yeah, again, it's just it's undeniable the rituals that they do. And just like I said last week, most streaks do end at 14, but when they don't all. There's a reason for it. So last night, you know, a lot of people were angry last night because you knew they bet, and last night was a heart jerker of a bet, right? You felt like you were about to collect your money. The Astros were up 6-3 going in the bottom of the ninth. Get 3 more outs, we're out of here. You know, the stub's paid. But then instead, 4 runs in the bottom of the ninth from the Yankees to come back and win on the bat. A judge, when the Supreme Court judges down a New York law, right? And it couldn't be any more ritualistic to get the 15th straight instead of the typical end at 14. And, you know, funny enough, just the same score as when the streak began. So 67, which is kind of like that score, it began with a 6-7 score. Last night was 6-7 to keep it going. 67 is the 19th prime number. Could that be another clue? Because, again, the next day, Aaron Judge in the headlines for a $19 million deal on the 190th day of the year, which is the 19th triangular number. Kind of like how they opened the tops on the 190th day of the year. Today, the Supreme Court ruling. Covered that on GematriaEffectNews 24. Today leaves 190 days left in the year. The 19th triangular number, womb, equals 19. Focused on the rights pertaining to what's going on in the womb. And that's also the Supreme Court. So, yeah, again, well, you got to say, what are the odds of all this stuff? That it started on that day, on the bat at Trevino, with the same score. And again, they've won all their home games since then. You notice they lost on May 23rd, the day before that. It's funny that it started against Baltimore, because we had a lot going on with Baltimore this week, right? Jalen Ferguson, Tony Siragusa, Final Jeopardy about Edgar Allan Poe, who wrote The Raven, all that at the same time. Big ritual. You know, the Ravens won the Super Bowl right before Pope Francis became the first Jesuit Pope. That was the 47th Super Bowl, the 93rd NFL season. And the Raven equals 93, and Lenore's 93, and it's about, you know, Edgar Allan Poe and Lenore, who died from tuberculosis in 1847 when tuberculosis is 47, and then Ray Lewis, who got away with murder, just turned 47, and then Syracuse is dead 38 days after his birthday. Jalen Ferguson played 38 games, dead 163 days after the last Ravens game, the 38th prime. So there might be somehow Baltimore's factoring into this as well, since it started there with them on the 144th day of the year. The Raven about death. This synced up with a mass shooting of 19 children. Again, just that 19 one more time. Here, if it's going to go through 19, let's think about it. June 27th, Okay, what's interesting about June 27th, if the Yankees did get their 19th win right there, I see it. That's the day leaving 187 days left in the year. Society of Jesus, again, is 191 forwards, 187 in reverse. And New York Yankees is the same thing, 191, 187. So that's possible. And with regards to the sun and the Jesuits, the Society of Jesus, their logo being the sun, remember where 19 factors in with the sun. The 19th tarot card is the sun card. The 19th tarot card is the sun card. And again, in the most simple cipher, tarot 74, gematria is 74, English is 74, occult 74, Masonic 74, energy 74. So they could be going for 19 straight. That would take it to Monday. And you know what? With regards to it going to a Monday, that could also make a little bit of sense because Monday is named after the moon, and the moon is on the 19-year cycle. So that's the 19 connection with the sun and the moon. So those are things to think about. Potential scare for it to end at 15 with the gun tribute. But it could be going 19, like the 19 cops who stood down for the 19 children. And again, the Aaron Judge thing today, too. So today's game should be getting underway. And yesterday, the Astros put up 3 runs in the top of the first. The Yankees rallied back with 3 more runs, 3-3. We know New York equals 33. Then the Astros scored 3 more runs in the third. And then they kept the Yankees blanked until the 9th inning with a 6-3 lead and then ended up losing 6-7. And the thing about 13 runs by the end of the 9th, that's probably not an accident. Remember, the last major gun control legislation was passed on 13/9, September 13th, 2 years to the day of the murder of Tupac Shakur, who officially passed that day, 139. And I've talked about before him being in Above the Rim and the hit song off that soundtrack, Regulators, and how it's all synced up with that whole ritual. Again, they've been doing the same stuff for years, syncing up the entertainment with the politics. It didn't just start, it's been going on the whole time from the time of Tupac, well before that up to now. And here, just to remind you what they did with Aaron Judge a few years back. This is 2019, so this happened in 19. Aaron Judge, born April 26th, from his birthday to the death of Justice Stevens at age 99, like Aaron Judge wears 99. That was 81 days later. 81 days after Aaron Judge's birthday, a Supreme Court justice dies at age 99. If you write out Supreme Court justice, it equals 81 in the most pure. If you use the rule with S is the 19th letter. The numerology in 19 is 1 plus 9 is 10. 10 is 1 plus 0 is 1, making S the only letter you have to compress 2 times to get to a single digit. So S can be 1 or 10 in reduction. If you recognize that S is 10, Supreme Court Justice becomes 99. Stevens dies at 99, 81 days after number 99's birthday. Making the same point then about Aaron Judge and Supreme Court. John Paul Stevens also fits in with the 57. And Aaron Judge, he made his return from his injury 57 days from his birthday. And that was just before the death of John Paul Stevens. And Aaron Judge the other year became the 13th player to go on the IL. When you spell out 13, it equals 99. It's kind of like the Illuminati that was founded with 13 members by a Jesuit, Adam Weishaupt, on May 1st, 1776. 5 plus 1 plus 17 plus 76 equals 99. And then the United States of America was named on September 9th, 1776, with the 13 colonies, the 13 stripes. And John Paul Stevens, he died 88 days from his birthday. Knows how Judge is 88 in reverse, 47 forwards, like how Aaron Judge won the home run derby. A couple years before that with 47 home runs, the Judge. And remember, Judge and gavel in the base ciphers are the exact same in all 4 ciphers. Gavel, Judge, exact same in all 4. And you see how that has 47, 88, 25? Don't forget Trump, who put in the most federal judges in a single term in U.S. history. He has the same values in his name. He has the 47, 25, 88, just like Judge and gavel, 47, 25, 88. So, Yeah, that's my thought for right now. I'm getting really close to finishing my book, you guys, and I just really want to focus on that and not be too disrupted. So when I'm done with the book, I promise I'll come back and I'll start decoding sports on the regular. And it's just, I've been killing myself trying to get this short book just right. I'm near the end. And when I'm done, we'll go back to sports and really trying to take it apart. But notice, I mean, in the year, I haven't gotten out a lot of sports picks, but God, we've been really accurate on the stuff we've picked. Hit on some nice futures, hit on a lot of games, and a lot of nice little runs. Here's another chance at a nice little run. If the Yankees get by tonight, there's a lot that lines up for them to win through the weekend. So, and again, if you are new here, learn the knowledge, pay attention to the knowledge, use the knowledge, and if you're smart enough, you will figure out why a lot of people have been using this knowledge ever since for a lot of years and padding their pockets a lot. And those are just facts. If you're someone who can't achieve that, well, that speaks to you. Sorry. And it's sad that some people who are losers, who can't win even with winning knowledge, they'll go out and cry about something and put it down when really it's just they're a loser. And then they think sharing their loser ways and their loser perspectives helpful to humanity. And it's not. So, again, remember your place, losers. You're not important people, you're losers. Nobody needs to hear anything from a loser, honestly. That's the downside of the internet. It's a place for a lot of losers with no confidence to go hide behind a screen name and be a faceless coward under some alt identity with some cartoon that they still watch as their avatar. You're just a problem. You're a parasite, a scumbag. Like literally scum that needs to be washed away. So, for those people, you guys need to stop. Pay attention to the knowledge. It's undeniable. It's been undeniably taught for 9 years. We have a huge resume of accomplishments, and you can start building your own resume of accomplishments like other people in this community have. There's a lot of people who've learned the knowledge. They got their own Patreons. They're out there spreading the knowledge, patting their own pockets. And again, that's thanks to yours truly who came here and taught it to everybody. So, anyhow, we will keep it short and sweet. We'll see what happens, but just remember, news and sports are all scripted. Don't get caught up in the politics. Don't get caught up in the sports, but try to wake people up to the agenda and then stop the evil, because this stuff is evil. And, if you missed the work on Roe versus Wade, you know what? Since I finished that video, I'll show you one more interesting thing. Again, Roe versus Wade overturned on Freemasonry's birthday in a huge 122 ritual in the Masonic city, but here's what I missed in the earlier presentation. If you actually spell out Roe versus Wade, it equals 175, and it got overturned today on the 175th day of the year. Again, the day leaving 190 days left in the year, the 19th triangular number, where womb is 19. And womb is also 53, like how the decision comes 53 days after the memo leak of May 2nd, which again was the 122nd day of the year, and today's decision comes 1 month and 22 days later. And the original Roe v. Wade decision was January 22nd, 122. And that was 122 days after Roe's birthday, which was September 22nd. And again, we've talked about abortion in 122 and so many different rituals over the years. But here's the latest one in the memo leak on the 122nd day of the year, and then the overturning 1 month and 22 days later. And don't forget to count your days later and your span of days, because the span's also important. The decision was 5-4 today, and it's a span of 54 days, and Venus comes into Cancer, and Cancer represents water, and rowing and wading. That's what you do in water. Roe versus Wade. Water, a woman's pregnant, her water breaks. Cancer, the astrological sign, again, is ruled by water. Its astrological symbols is 69. Supreme Court equals 69, like the moon landing in 69 when Cancer's ruled by the moon. But today in astrology, Venus, which represents love, comes into Cancer on a Friday that's named after Venus. So again, this is a monster ritual, this overturning of Roe versus Wade, that was planned out many years ago. The master astrologers, they can look 30 years down the road and be like, okay, here's the mathematics. This is going to happen in astrology on that day. So they can map it out. That's the perfect day to shift the balance. These occult psychopaths. Evil geniuses, whatever you want to call them. But this is why Roe versus Wade's overturned today. And, and by the way, just John Roberts is the head of the Supreme Court. Knows how his name is with Jesuit order. Not only is it the 54th day since the memo leak, the total span, but it's also 153 days after the anniversary of the Roe versus Wade decision. Again, Jesuit order, just like John Robertson, 3 out of the 4 ciphers, 5-4 decision, span of 54 days, 153 days after the anniversary. Jesuit Order 72, Sam Alito with the memo leak at age 72. The decision on a 72-date numerology, astrology. The sun moves 1 degree on the astrological wheel every 72 years. See how perfect it is? So CNN's first headline today, Roe overturned, 72-72, Samuel Alito at the head of it with his memo leak. You know. And then Clarence Thomas going after gay rights a day after turning 74. That magic number in D.C., it's just, this is the divide and conquer. This is the 2 pillars, 2 parties, 2 perspectives they want for everybody to have in America. And for them to choose one of those 2 perspectives and not think about anything else. Anything else is a conspiracy theory. So, and by the way, somebody also pointed out the phrase overturning Roe, which is being used today. It does have that magic Jesuit order gematria. It's just like, I don't know if I'm going to use that example, but that is interesting. So, and don't forget, we just had the huge 175 ritual in the NBA Finals, and this coming on the 175th day of the year. Celtics fell to 17-5 in finals versus Golden State. Golden State equals 175. Pope Francis equals 175. Run it the other way, 122. That's true for Golden State and Pope Francis. Both 122 forwards, 175 in reverse. Then on the 175th day of the year, right after those finals end, you get the big abortion ruling in the 122 ritual. Again, just the numbers, the spelling, the patterns all throughout society in blocks of time as we observe. As we just go right on down the line. And for people who are new here, we've always talked about 53 in the womb. I mean, this is written about in my first book that came out years ago. You know, I wrote this part of the book 2016, 2017. Womb in 53, the feminine number. It's just, it's undeniable. So if you missed the longer stream we did, we had some good phone calls on that. It's on Gematria Effect News 24. I'll say one more thing real quick before we cut it short. Clarence Thomas, again, getting the headlines today. He just turned 74, June 23rd, yesterday. And we know that's the number in D.C. They say George Washington, the Freemason general, had 74 generals. Masonic, Parables, Lucifer, Jesus, Cross, Messiah, Gospel, Energy, London, Tarot, Gematria, English, Jewish, Occult. It's all 74. Holiday 74. Independence Day 74. Goes beyond that. But anyway, Clarence Thomas hits this magic number, and then he gets to be the extra big divider today. You know? And he's been in, he was made a Supreme Court justice on the day leaving 69 days left in the year. Again, Supreme Court, the Jesuit Order, New World Order, Catholic Church, Illuminati, Saturn, they're all 69. Cancer's astrological symbol looks like 69. He's been in the Supreme Court for 30 years now. Saturn has the 30-year return. Saturn's connected to judgment. He's a judge. You know, and it should remind you that the Illuminati, part of its founding mission was to infiltrate Freemasonry, which was already a Jesuit creation. But in light of today being 153 days after Roe v. Wade, the Illuminati equals 153, like Jesuit Order, like Holy Bible, and all this stuff is biblical. You know, they figured out a world to turn everybody against everybody. So. Anyhow, we'll keep it short and sweet. For those of you guys who like to gamble, keep an eye on the Yankees win streak. Does it extend tonight? Because if so, good shot it's going through at least 18 and potentially 19 for all the reasons we talked about. And again, you learn this knowledge, you observe, you play smart, you learn the patterns that work for you, the ones you keep track of, like, this is the pattern that I'm winning the most with. Everybody finds their niche. Just learn the knowledge and pay attention. You'll see the games are definitively rigged this way. The politics are definitively rigged this way. That's why I can talk about it every single day, and I'm here every single day for 9 years straight. If it wasn't this way, I wouldn't be here making concrete points day after day, making accurate predictions season after season. Wouldn't be happening, but it is. So if you can't see it, then you're suffering from cognitive dissonance, and we'll leave it there for now. Again, got to finish the book. I'm real close. And then we'll get back to the frequent sports decodes. But use the knowledge for now. And again, if you need those cheat sheets, just go to your web search engine and type in MLB Gematria cheat sheet. You'll find the link. I put it out there. You got all the team gematria. Just look for those patterns. You need it for the NFL. You want to start doing your research? NFL Gematria cheat sheet. It's out there. You want to start doing your work for the NBA? NBA Gematria cheat sheet. It's out there. NHL Gematria cheat sheet, it's out there. And with regards to the NHL, pay attention to what happens tonight. A 4-1 series would be interesting for Colorado. But we know, again, I'll just remind people, Colorado has the gematria of 83, like football. And Michigan played Colorado State in the first game of the 83rd March Madness tournament. And Tom Brady, who's 7-3 in Super Bowls right now, born on 8-3, he came out of retirement right after they put out the bracket for the 83rd tournament. So it's interesting that Tampa Bay, his current NFL city, is playing Colorado in the Stanley Cup. If Colorado, the 83 place, did win 4-1, we know Super Bowl equals 41, like Brady won Super Bowl 53 at age 41 over LA, which equals 41, and 41's the 13th prime, and they won that game 13-3. LA is also 13 the other way around, but just like Kobe dying at age 41 and his daughter 13, LA 41-13. But there very likely is a clue in that NHL Stanley Cup with Tom Brady. And here, just real quick, I've just been thinking about it, but not really doing the research. Let me just see something real quick. Let's measure from Brady's birthday. Let's see. He's born August 3rd. He was born in 1977, so his last birthday was August 3rd, 2021. Freemasonry's birthday. God, that's interesting that today's 325 days after Brady's birthday, and I'll tell you why. In the Catholic Church history, that's when the Council of Nicaea happened, 325 AD. But remember, the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, that's is a Jesuit creation. The Jesuits and the Masons, both in D.C., all part of the same family tree. But if you write out Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, it's 325 in the most simple cipher. So that is interesting that today's modern Freemasonry's birthday, June 24th, 1717, and it's 325 days after Brady's birthday. Yeah, because I haven't been following hockey. I don't want to. The tricky thing is that I'm thinking if Tampa won tonight, God, the series would be 3-2, and Scottish is 32 and 49, just like America is. So, but if it does go 4-1, again, that's just the Super Bowl number, so that is something to think about. But yeah, I haven't followed hockey enough to know. It's just the one thing that jumps out to me about the series is what they did with the March Madness tournament. And again, just now Brady City and Colorado again. So, but yeah, that's a little bit tricky to think about. And I haven't done the research. Dig into the numbers for the series. There might be a greater clue there. Again, this is the knowledge. You can look up the stats. Go to statmuse.com. You can do things like this. You can say, what is the all-time record for Avalanche versus Lightning? Okay, so they got wins, losses, ties, overtime losses. But somewhere in there is likely the winning clue. And in hockey, it can be good to look at it from both perspectives because the record could be a little bit different the other way around just because of the way they record losses and overtime losses. And so from the Tampa Bay's perspective, they have 21 wins, 20 losses, 3 ties, and 5 overtime losses. So 20 plus 5 is the 25. That's why Colorado have 25 wins and then 18 losses and 3 overtime losses. So they have 21 total losses. That's why when you look at it from the Lightning's perspective, 21, 23, and 5. It's going to be the 50th game tonight between the two teams. But yeah, again, because I didn't really follow the season and I'm not up on the number patterns and the riddles, and if there's some big clue I missed in the past, it's just the best way to win with this is to follow it, study it, identify the patterns, and then ride those strong patterns that you've identified. And in certain seasons, some patterns are stronger than others. Certain numbers come through every year, year after year. So, Avalanche 2022 NHL playoff record. Well, that is interesting. They're 15-3. If they hit 16-3, that'd be the latest Colorado tribute because 163 is the 38th prime. It's like the Broncos have won 3 out of 8 Super Bowls. Colorado's the 38th state. Colorado equals 38. Even look at their baseball team. Colorado Rockies is 163, the 38th prime. It's just like the Ravens' death the other day. the Raven, who played 38 games. Ravens 38. He's dead 163 days after their last game. So, the Lightning are 13-8-0. So, like, God, if they lose, they're 13-9, like 139, the 34th prime. Just trying to think. They use that number a lot with gun control, but I don't see where the Colorado, Tampa. Well, we know Denver and Colorado has had a lot of mass shootings, but I couldn't tell you where Tampa Bay fits in with that right now. So, anyway, when you understand the pattern better, it's like in the Yankees thing. I get it a lot more. The streak started on the Uvalde thing, which we talked about that day, and then the gun control ruling. It's obvious that's all connected. So that's a pattern you can follow, and it very well could end up with the 19, like the 19 children who died while the 19 cops stood down. But again, news and sports, you guys, you learn this knowledge, you'll see how it's all connected, and you'll see how certain numbers just come up a lot. And yeah, so all right, let me check in with the chat real quick. Chat, before I get off, if there's anything super urgent you need me to see or something you identified that I was talking about that I'm overlooking, I'm looking for those comments in the chat right now. For the person who says, how are you not paranoid? Well, paranoia is not anything that's going to be helpful to you in this world. Being paranoid is not something you want to be. I mean, paranoia does happen when certain circumstances arise, but it's like, again, I guess people get paranoid because they're worried about being killed. That's something I'm not worried about. Like, if that happened to me, I'd say, well, that was the consequence of speaking out and doing what I had to do as a human being, but I don't think that's going to happen. Like, if that's what your guys' thought, like, I'd be paranoid because someone's going to do something to me. Anyway, that's not the question I'm looking for in the chat, but again, living your life out of fear and behaving around fear, that's the way to living a life of regret and missing your purpose. So that's my answer to your question. Okay, we got all sorts of kind of different comments. For the person who feels like they've lost direction in the world, make your direction trying to overturn all the evil you see in the world. You know, if you're getting confused about things, simplify what's going on around you. There's evil people that control we, the people of this nation and many other nations, and people need to learn to see through government and tyranny and media deception and how we're being played against ourselves, against each other. That's what needs to be stopped. Figure out a way to make your life about that. Could be artistically, you know, there could be making music. There's a million different ways to contribute, waking people up to the evil. So I'd suggest trying to find your path in that. Okay, Itachi's calling in. Itachi's usually got something. What's up, Itachi?
I don't have too much today for you. I did notice it's the Freemasonry founding birthday, right? And Masonry is 33 and 39.
Right.
But what's annoying is I feel like, years ago, before you spread all this knowledge, it would be a lock for those teams, especially the Tigers, which equals 33 and 39, to become 33 and 39, right? On a day like today. Yeah. So, I mean, I definitely think they're kind of shifting the deck and cards. But I want to thank you for never, vanishing when shit goes wrong, right? If you got to pick wrong, I mean, there were people like promising the Celtics would win, and your thing, they haven't showed up since. And, these guys are,
well, that's the thing too. I mean, people who hide behind their screen name and their avatar, exactly, and you don't know who they are. I've never had to be that person because the facts are, since I've been here from day one, the very first prediction I put out was right. I put out a ton of correct predictions. I've been right about way more than I've been wrong about, and the general trajectory of what's going on in the world, I've been dead on about. So
dead on, exactly.
Yeah, I don't worry about any of my critics. I consider them to be losers and part of the problem, and I just keep it as simple as that. So
I see. I'm calling out the people in the community that try and talk a big game before the event's over and everything, and when they're up 2-1 or whatever, and then they disappear for months. You won't see them till football season.
Well, that's just how people are, isn't it? I mean, that's how people are.
I see, but we should weed out those, because I mean they pretty much represent the Matrix, the cabal, just front running, talking shit when you're ahead. and then when it goes wrong, they're so yeah. But you know what I mean. I just want to say I respect that, and yeah, man, the knowledge has continued to pay dividends. I mean, you see what Kayla's doing in the WNBA. I mean, it's undeniable how all these games are scripted this way, and for anyone still observing this knowledge and going out and buying sports tickets, I mean, the best fate for you is a bullet in the head. I'll say that adamantly because, I mean, how do you see how they're sacrificing all these young ass, black people, and you're still going to the game because it's cool and the thing to do? I mean, these guys are satanic fucks and actually worse than the sheep who deny everything we're saying. So I just want to leave it with that.
Yeah, I totally hear that. We definitely shouldn't be supporting the evil. So I appreciate it, Tachi. Thanks, man.
Of course, man. Yeah, peace out. Thank you for the knowledge.
Yeah,
See ya.
Take care. Okay, somebody did point out something really interesting in the chat, and they could be right about it. So the Lightning's all-time playoff record's 120 and 86. Their next loss is 87. The word justice is 87 in light of what happened today with Roe versus Wade. But if the Avalanche won, they'd get their 175th win on the 175th day of the year. So that is very interesting. That's a great observation. And if that does happen, God, I wish I would have paid attention to this season because I must be missing something big. But 175 was just huge in the NBA Finals. And the hockey and NBA seasons parallel each other. Again, Pope Francis 175, Golden State 175. The Celtics fell to 17-5 all time against, 17-5 all time in the finals. And now you could have the Avalanche get their 175th playoff win, winning the Stanley Cup on the 175th day of the year. So keep an eye on if that happens. I just now that I see that, I gotta go back and look at I gotta go back and look at what happened in the NHL on Pope Francis' birthday. Maybe there's a clue there, just like there was in the NBA Finals. Pope Francis, Saturnalia, December 17th, 2021. No, they didn't play that day. It's not like the NBA. It's not quite the same. Neither team played. There's no Lightning. There's no Avalanche game. Oh, that would have made things easier. Okay, but yeah, great observation in the chat about the 175. Itachi says in the chat, the Avalanche could have stayed on 173 wins on the 173rd day of the year. And perhaps you could find out tonight the reason why that didn't happen. It might be because it was meant for them to pick up the 175th win on the 175th day of the year after that just happened in the NBA Finals. And it happened again today with Roe versus Wade. In case you missed it somehow earlier, if you write out Roe versus Wade, it's 175 on the 175th day of the year. Avalanche, Colorado. Yeah. I wish I could clone a few of me to keep an eye on everything as much as I'd like to, because there's probably somebody out there who did a great job with the hockey season who knows some things along the way, but... Okay. Just dumb comments in the chat. Just if you don't want to show yourself as a troll while I'm here looking at the chat, that'll be the last time you ever post in the chat. No, dude, we just nailed the finals again based on understanding what 175 is. And then on the 175th day of the year, you want to say that this sounds like, I mean, it's just people like that. It's just adios, man. We don't need you fertilizer types around here, doing your jibber jabber in the chat. It just doesn't need to be seen by anyone. So, yeah, Itachi sees too, exactly. Yeah, we've been talking about Aaron Judge in the Supreme Court for a lot of years, man. They've been doing the same stuff. So anyhow, keep an eye on that Yankees win streak. Try to wake your friends and family up to the knowledge. If your friends and family are the dumb type of people where you can get 4 predictions right and then you miss one, they're like, oh, it must all be fake now. Then you know your friends and family are retards and you should probably move on from them. Again, a lot of people, you just need to say goodbye to these losers in your life that are like anchor weights dragging you down, and understand it's majority of society, so it's very probable this is what's going on in your life. We live in a society of brain-dead morons, and it's why we're played for fools the way we are day after day. the Masonic city on Freemasonry's birthday. A huge story. And remember, a year ago to the day was the building collapse in Miami at 1:22 a.m. A year to the day later, you know what I mean? So the first round pick last night to the Magic was dressed in purple. I mean, how many years until he's on the Lakers doing the Shaq thing from Orlando to LA, purple and gold. Magic Johnson, the Magic. What's up, Al?
Still live?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, tonight, if you got to include the playoff stuff. That was a great observation. Whoever said the 175, but also if the Avalanche, if they win tonight, they'll be 72 on the 72 day, 72 and 22.
Oh, that'd be their record for the whole year.
For the whole fucking year, man. I mean, that's just perfect. And we saw what they did with Boston, right? They fucking kept Golden State on 35 in the big, Catholic town, Boston. So that looks like the same shit. Why are they going to get off 22? I don't see them getting off at 22. They're going to fucking stay on it in 2022. And Tampa Bay was 79, 22nd prime. So, I don't know, man. That looks good. Why would they have it all lined up for them to pick that 175th all-time playoff win on the 175th day of the year, and then also be 72 and 22 to finish them out, and then the 4-1? I mean, yeah, that just looks like that's what they're doing, man.
Yeah, there's a few things there. Yeah, there it is right there. 71, 22, and 7. This will be their 101st game of the season then.
101st game of the season, too, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I wonder what that Luxie guy thinks, because I know he's done some pretty good work on hockey. He follows it.
Yeah,
and he liked Colorado to win the series.
Okay.
So, I wonder if he sees the same thing. He probably follows it. So. But yeah, I don't know. I think that looks pretty good.
The 72 is the date numerology today. It's big in the Supreme Court decision, so.
Right. That 87 I wasn't even aware of. So that even makes sense. Everything makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe the Rays win too. The Rays tonight, they do a switcheroo. Rays are playing the Pirates, and I noticed the Rays, if they win tonight, they'll be 7-9 all time against the Pirates.
Okay. I see.
That looks like that's pretty sweet too, right? And Colorado stays on 22 losses to finish off.
That's something to pay attention to tonight. If Tampa Bay gets closed out and the Rays beat the Pirates, because that's like Buccaneers, and again, we're just seeing it's this interesting amount of days.
Yeah. You always make that extra connection, man.
Well, look, the Pirates would get their 41st loss, and Skull and Bones is 41, and the Rays would get that 38th win. And just like Colorado's got the 38 connection, the 38th state, and they can become 16-3 in the playoffs. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely look at what happens there with that score tonight, and that should be a big clue for the NFL season. So.
I hope so.
Yeah, the Pirates would get the 41st loss, and the Avalanche would win the series 4-1 to go with the little Skull and Bones thing.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, you connected the Super Bowl thing. The other stuff I saw, but the Super Bowl was. Yeah, I should have been looking at that, the whole Tampa thing. So.
How many days is it?
A lot of sense.
How many days is it from the Super Bowl?
I don't know. You were just talking about 13 runs scored last night, too, 41-13 prime. Then they do all the fucking court shit today in the game, with the numbers, too.
It's 233 days from today to the upcoming Super Bowl, which is the 13th Fibonacci number. And the 51st prime, but Tampa equals 51, and then NFL's 13, and yeah, I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this one. So.
All right, man. Good work, dude.
All right. Appreciate it, Al.
See you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys, I am kind of half-assed and everything because I haven't really followed the season and I haven't done a full decode, but I mean, there's definitely some numbers there that obviously remind a lot about what we just saw in the NBA Finals, which was run by Golden State, which has the same gematria as 41 as well. I bet they did something this year that was synced up that I just missed. So. Okay. Let me check in with the chat one more time. The Rockies can get their 41st lots tonight as well, huh? They're playing the Twins. We just got out of Gemini into Cancer. But that is interesting. So, yeah, watch that as well, because we just know the way they can sync up all these sports leagues. And, yeah, that is interesting. Minnesota's a hockey town too, you know. People like hockey up in those northern states right there. It's their 72nd game of the year, the Twins. Yeah, so keep an eye on that larger pattern. Do the Avalanche win the series 4-1 tonight? Do the Rockies get their 41st loss tonight? And do the Pirates get their 41st loss tonight? Does all of that happen? 4-1 hockey series. Because, again, just the Tampa and Colorado being connected to all of this, and, again, it goes back to the March Madness bracket and Brady coming out of retirement right after that, and just 41 connected to Super Bowls over and over. Watch all those things tonight. So, and keep in mind, 41's the 13th prime number, right? NFL equals 13. Today's 233 days to the upcoming Super Bowl, the 13th Fibonacci number, just like how Curry's 3-point streak ended after 233 days. So, yeah, watch that tonight. And again, everything we talked about at the beginning of the stream with the Yankee streak, so. Who are the Rangers playing tonight? Rangers got the connection to the Bush family, the Skull and Bones family. Oh, good. The Bush. So the Bush family Skull and Bones team is in Washington, D.C. tonight. How fitting. God. Nationals are on 47 losses, huh? I'm rusty right now. There's nothing that's actually screaming out to me on the surface about this game. But I do find it funny that they're there in D.C. Or they're actually not in D.C. They're at home. They're near Dallas, which is 41 land. But, yeah, I'm missing the number on the surface that really jumps out to me about how they would fit in with the ritual tonight. Could be something about their all-time head-to-head games. You know what? It's interleague play. Let me look at it real quick because they can't have a lot of games versus each other. Rangers versus Nationals all-time record. 8-7. God. 88 has to do with Judge, but 97 has to do with the nickname for Skull and Bones, which is Brotherhood of Death. But Brotherhood of Death, 97. God, I haven't been doing my baseball, so I'm off my... Rangers is 107. The Rangers would have to win 2 to get to 10-7 versus the Nationals. I remember the Nationals got a 107 connection as well. What is it? They had that shooting ritual the other year that was a 107 thing. Is it Washington Nationals? Washington Nationals is also 107. Just like Rangers is 107. They've done some 107 no-hitter rituals in the past with the Rangers. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if the Rangers won tonight, they'd get to 9-7. Brotherhood of Death, Skull and Bones alias. And if they win today and tomorrow, they get to 10-7. And I don't know if there's a 117 connection anywhere. Nationals. Yeah, but those are things to keep an eye on. If the Rangers do win tonight and make that 9-7, that 10-7 would make a bit of sense. Just to go back and show you this example. Let me see. I remember they did this not that long ago. National shooting. Let's see. Okay, so the shooting at the National Stadium happened 107 days after the season began on July 17th, 17/7. We know what that is, like the Jesuit order. But there was a Padres game, too. The Padres won the World Series after the San Ysidro Massacre, which was synced up with Ray Kroc, who owned the team, who owned the McDonald's. Okay, but now I get the joke of the Padres being in attendance. And that happened in 1984. That happened in 1984, the San Ysidro Massacre. You see that? 8-4 the game was when they stopped it due to the shooting scare. I mean, God, man. These people, they got us good, man. So anyway, I knew there was something back there with the Nationals in 107. 107 days after the season began. Shooting scare versus the Padres. Padres were on 54 wins at the time. Nationals were 42-48. Freemason 42-48. Okay, but yeah, those are a few thoughts, things to pay attention to. And again, when I finish the book, we'll start doing some real sports decoding. But that's the half-assed version. I'd encourage you, if you want to win money at this and do well, to dig deeper than I did tonight. But again, just trying to encourage you how to look at it. Again, look at the pitcher records. If you have a great team riddle record in baseball, and then you look at the pitcher, and it's like, wow, the pitcher can pick up the career win number that matches with this team, you know you got a great riddle. Those kind of games are the ones that, I never call anything a lock, but those are the games where it's very likely you're not going to be disappointed. The team has a riddle to win, and the pitcher for that team has a riddle to win. You know you found a good game. And that's what Victor's doing over there on Mr. Futures. He's going through all the games each day like I used to do. And he's looking for that one really solid game to give his people. If he sees two that are really knocking his socks off, he's throwing those out there. But he's not really doing a lot of games. He's just trying to get people used to the feeling of winning several days in a row. Maybe even on when a bad week, maybe just winning 2 or 3 days in a row and then losing, but they come back with another 3-4 days and then before the next loss, but just winning more than losing. And he's trying to be super selective, which is a great strategy as well. So the nice thing about this knowledge is if you find a day full of great riddles, it's the kind of day where you can make a $5 parlay and win several $100s, as a lot of people have done in this community. And that's the way a lot of people like to play. They don't risk a lot, so they're not turning their hair gray, but they're hitting their big parlays way more than they're losing, and they're constantly building up the supply, and they're just staying steady and not getting greedy. So, but ultimately, again, the more important point than winning money off this is not supporting this evil and taking your energy back from it being stolen by these rigged sports leagues and these rigged politics that are just meant to manipulate you and play you. So, all right, you guys, we'll leave it there for now. And I do got to go back and work some more on the book because I've spent too much time video streaming today. But shout out to Big Al and everybody else. Big Al got in my ear and he wanted me to talk about the Yankees winning streak. So very likely this live stream wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Big Al. Big Al, my favorite book disruptor. So anyway, I do got to get back to writing the book. Good luck, play smart, and hopefully you pad the pockets a little more this weekend. All right, until next time.